This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor. On September 11, 2023, NASA astronaut Frank Rubio broke the U.S. record by becoming the first American to spend a full year in space. As a member of the Space Station 69 crew, when he leaves for Earth on September the 27th, he will have logged 371 days in Earth orbit, surpassing Mark Vande Heij's record of 355 days set in 2022. Here's more on Rubio's stay in space from Scripps News.
It's a record NASA astronaut Frank Rubio never intended to break. When Rubio and two Russian cosmonauts blasted off for the International Space Station last September, Rubio thought he'd be home in 6 months. But then their Soyuz spacecraft sprung a leak. Rubio's ride home went back to Earth empty.
The damaged Soyuz MS-22 heading for an uncrewed automated landing.
Getting stranded in space means Rubio has now broken the American record for the longest single spaceflight. The previous record, 355 days, was held by NASA's Mark Vande Heij. Rubio, a medical doctor, former Army helicopter pilot and skydiver who grew up in Miami, also becomes just one of 6 people to spend an entire year in space. The extended stay means more time for spacewalks and zero-gravity flips, but it also means being away from his wife and 4 kids and missing important family milestones.
Yeah, you can't really make up for those, right? But birthdays, anniversaries, my wife, my kids, they've been troopers, and they've really handled it incredibly well.
When Rubio finally touches down September 27th on a replacement capsule, he'll have logged 371 days in space. The all-time record for the longest single spaceflight is held by a Russian, the late cosmonaut Valery Polyakov, at 437 days.
So in a way, it was kind of a blessing because I get to fly with a lot more people.
After more than a year on orbit, Rubio says he's most looking forward to taking a real shower.
Also just the smells of Earth, being outside, smelling the grass and the trees, and just going for a hike or something like that.
The smells of Earth, and with a new record, the taste of success.
As a former flight surgeon, Rubio said he expects his return home to be a bit of a physical challenge. He said, after about 6 months in space, most people have a little bit of a hard time with their vestibular system and their equilibrium. So after 12 months, that can be a challenge. It might take a couple of days before I'm somewhat normal, but the reality is it's going to take anywhere from 2 to 6 months of intense physical rehab to get back to my normal, and that's just part of the process. Wow, an unexpected 1-year stay in space. I guess you always have to be prepared for whatever comes up there. Thank you for joining me. Remember each Tuesday to join David Denault for America's Return to Space, and join me every Friday for America in Space. From the Florida Space Coast, I'm Dawn Meyer, Space Coast News Editor for About Space Today.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.